On review, book one was all about the books that arrived for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He's an epic thriller novelist and a prominent figure in Houston and the author of the book, The Banquas. No other than Mr. David Kent. Welcome, Mr. David, on Book 101 Review. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Thank you, Dan. My name is David Kent. This is my first novel. It took me 20 years to write it, but I finally did. And the idea for the book came to me in a dream.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your debut book to the world, Mr. Kent. Hoping for more and more empowering novel like this to come. So, tell us, the bomb quest is immediately gripping and carries a sense of high stakes urgency. What is the central bomb in the story? Is it literal physical weapon of mass destruction, or is it more metaphorical, taking the time bomb like a secret, a revolution, or a personal dilemma?
Well, that is a very good question. It is a search for a hydrogen bomb that was dropped on Tokyo on August 12th, 1945, that did not explode, was lost, and now 80 years later, the grandson of the bombardier is on his way to Japan to see if it does exist. And if it does exist, can he find it, retrieve it, and get it out of there?
Interesting, Mr. David. Every great quest needs a compelling hero. Who is the protagonist forced to undertake this dangerous mission, and what about them? Perhaps specific skills, a deep-seated flow, or a personal connection makes them only one who can possibly succeed.
Well, the protagonist is Joshua Meister, and he is the grandson of the bombardier. He goes to visit his grandfather, and his grandfather tells him this incredible tale. Now, mind you, Nathaniel Meister, his grandfather, is 99 years old and kind of comes and goes mentally. And so Joshua doesn't know whether to believe him or not, and thus it becomes his quest.
The word quest implies a journey with clear objective. What is the ultimate goal? Is it
Very good.
disarm the bomb, to deliver it, or to understand it, or to prevent it from ever being created in the first place?
Well, the answer to the question is it is a quest, and it does involve a journey. It involves Joshua leaving the United States and going to Tokyo and seeing if he can find the bomb, and if he can find the bomb, to safely retrieve it, take it out in the ocean, and drop it 20,000 feet deep where it can do no one any harm.
No one will harm for sure. And Mr. David, can you paint a picture of the world in which the bomb quest take place? It's a gritty cyberpunk metropolis, or one-turn fantasy landscape, or a hyper realistic version of our own world push the brink.
It is a reflection of our own world. The book is set in 2025, exactly 80 years after the bomb was dropped, and it discusses the reality of life's existence in Tokyo, the city of today. I recently visited Tokyo before finishing the book to be sure that I had a handle on the landscape and how huge the city of Tokyo is, as well as how broad Tokyo Bay is. So those were my working tools.
No quest is undertaken alone. Who are the key allies?
Ah,
The unlikely partners, the seasoned expert, or the reluctant companions who join your protagonist, and what unique tensions or thread do you bring to the group dynamic?
Well, Joshua is a young man, early 20s. And when he was in college at the University of Michigan, he met a Chinese exchange student from Hong Kong. And after the end of her postgraduate studies, she leaves to return to Hong Kong and tells him never to contact her again. Yet when he gets to Japan, comes to find out that her family's in the salvage business. And he thinks to himself, I need Meilei's help. Meilei Ho is her name. I need her help to get this bomb off the bottom of the ocean because I can't do it myself. And so she is his main ally. The antagonist, if you want to know about him, is a man named Mukhtar Ashadi, who comes to the United States, fails in his college education, meets a woman and goes to St. Louis, and then finds out that his village in northern Pakistan has been bombed by the United States and he wants revenge. He overhears the conversations between Joshua and his grandfather, and he is determined to get the bomb for his own nefarious purposes.
Mr. David, what stands in your hero's way? Beyond the obvious physical dangers, what are the deeper obstacles, moral compromises, betrayals, or impossible choices that truly test their resolve and define their character?
Well, the compromises and challenges that Joshua has is that he was a former employee of the CIA and took an oath to uphold the United States against enemies within and without. And so he is conflicted as to whether to tell the CIA about the existence of the bomb, but fearful at the same time that if he does, that he will go the way of Valerie Plume or worse, and that his grandfather and him will somehow be quietly disposed of for having this secret that the US government has kept a secret since the bomb didn't explode on 12 August 1945. That's his fear. He also has a fear that he is somehow violating his oath to the United States and is conflicted with regard to the people that he's involving in the search because they could also, including his former girlfriend Melee, they could also be exterminated if the government, the US government, or the Japanese government, if they found out about it, would want to keep this whole thing a complete, deep, dark secret.
The stakes is a story like these are paramount. What happens if a quest fails? Are we looking for a personal tragedy, the collapse of a city, or the end of the world as they knew it?
Well, there are definite paths that can be taken. If there is no bomb, then the quest is complete. He can go back to his normal life. If there is a bomb and it falls into the wrong hands, that bomb could find its way to Manhattan. That's his fear. If the various government agents find out about the bomb from the Japanese and the American side, or the Yakuza perhaps, who might want the bomb for their own saleability of such a device, that could be death, torture, imprisonment, somehow leave the face of the earth, never to be heard from again. These are extreme risks that he's undertaking, and now he's involving other people. His love of his life, Melee, he has now sucked her into the morass, and he is worried that if something bad does happen, that it could involve her and lead to her demise as well.
Mr. David, how does the concept of a time pressure fuel the narrative? Does the bomb have a literal countdown, creating relentless pace, or is the pressure more psychological and political?
Hmm. Well, I would say that the pressure is more psychological because of his inner conflicts, uh, his allegiance to the United States, his allegiance to Melee, his caring for the Japanese people, as was embodied by his grandfather, who purposely dropped the bomb early so as to not kill a million more Japanese who had already been killed in Hiroshima and Nagasaki a few days before.
Master David, what is the original spark of inspiration for this story? What if scenario, a character who appeared in your mind, or a specific historical contemporary feel you wanted to explore?
Well, in my life, I've had 6 visions that all came true, and this was one of them. And I had been searching around in my soul for a project to do that would be expressive of my artistic side, as opposed to writing briefs and motions, which is what I do on a daily basis as a lawyer. So that was my inspiration. And then after I told a number of people that I'm writing a book, and how many people have we all heard saying, "Oh, I'm writing a book, blah, blah, blah." Well, I decided 2 years ago when I turned 70 that I'm not going to go to my grave having not finished this book. So I stepped on the gas. I worked before my regular job, I worked after my regular job, and my wife was completely supportive of that effort to get the book written. And then once I had done 12 drafts, including having written the first draft in longhand because I'm a very poor typist, when I saw it come back having been typed, and then I began to revise and revise. And because there are 4 main stories in the book that are all interwoven, time and place and circumstance, that was a very big challenge for me. But the reward of having finally accomplished the goal of finishing the book, having a publisher accept the book, and having people like the book, uh, that's very satisfying. And I must say, humbling too, because a lot of the storylines within the book are storylines in one form or another of my own life, my own past life.
Mr. David, without giving away spoilers, can you describe a scene that you're particularly profound of one of the perfect microcosm of the book's blend of tension, character, and thematic depth?
Okay, I can certainly do that. So Melee is considerably unhappy when he reaches out to her and gets her on the phone. She's extremely unhappy. He explains his need for her assistance, and she is even more unhappy. But when she finally arrives in Tokyo, she comes to the hotel, and he is coming down to the lobby to meet her. When lo and behold, in the lobby, as he looks above from the mezzanines, he sees Mukhtar Ashadi there with 3 other Pakistani men, and he knows they're there to get the bomb for themselves.
Interesting, Mr. David. As a debut author, what are your short term and long term goals?
What are my goals?
Yes, please.
That everyone who reads the book um, gives me feedback, good or bad, because there's another novel percolating inside me. So that is one of my goals. And I would be lying if I didn't tell you that if Netflix calls or Columbia Pictures calls and say they want to buy the option for the book to turn it into a series or a movie, uh, that is my ultimate goal, to see it on either on television or on the big screen one day.
Good luck to you goals, Master David, and looking forward for more success. And of course, more books like this to come. And what would be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be an author like you?
Well, my suggestion is that you have some sort of easily definable hook to share with people that you trust, and see if that piques their interest. Because literally for years, I would tell people about dropping the bomb on Hiroshima, an atomic bomb, dropping a second one on Nagasaki, and then telling them, but what the world doesn't know is that we dropped a hydrogen bomb on Tokyo on August 12th, 1945, that didn't explode, and now the race is on to find it. A lot of very smart people have said, I never read that in the history books. That gave me the faith and belief and confidence that the hook was solid and that it would get people to read and enjoy reading. And thus far, the feedback that I've received from some very smart people and some very average people who like to read, all kinds of people actually, from all kinds of backgrounds, uh, has been uniformly positive insofar as it's a page turner kind of a book, and the characters, you can actually see them in your mind, which was my goal, and that the storylines make sense, um, and that people want to keep reading until they get to the end.
Okay. Thank you for the advice, Mr. David.
Oh, let
And
me say, excuse me, I didn't quite get to the point of your question. I apologize.
no worries
So,
at all.
if someone has an idea and they have transformed it into a manuscript, which I now understand is the first step, or they've written a screenplay based on some idea that they have, the world is filled with people like us that are writing their first book. And you have to figure out what genre does my book fit in. Mine is spy adventure. There are romance books, as you know, Daniel. There are all sorts of books. But the key is to get someone's attention who's in the business, either by hiring a publicist or by badgering someone you know that knows someone who knows someone who knows someone. But you've got to just be extremely persistent to finally, excuse me, finally have someone say, good to go. I'll do it with you.
Thank you again for that advice, Mr. David. And can you please recommend a book or books that influenced your journey?
Well, actually, there was one book, and it was written prior to my vision. It was The Born Identity, a Ludlum book. And they made three movies out of the book. I read the book after I watched the first movie and was very impressed with the pace of the writing and the intrigue, which is what I hoped to embody in my book, that there's intrigue and subplots and tangents and mini adventures that uh, keep the reader interested and engaged.
Well, thank you for that recommended book, Mr. David.
Mhm.
And let's talk about the bomb quest. Who is the antagonist? What is the motivation for wanting the bomb to exist or to detonate?
Well, the the nurse's aide who works at the nursing home where the grandfather lives overhears him talking to the people on the flight about uh, opening the bomb bay doors and dropping the bomb. And at the same time, he's living under a new identity because he did some very bad things that are in the book. Um, but when he sees on television that a misdirected drone strike from the US hits his village and kills his family, part of his family, he becomes enraged and becomes determined that he is going to get the bomb first and he's going to take it and take it someplace in the United States so they can feel his pain.
Okay, interesting, Mr. David. What do you hope readers will feel and think about long after they turn the final page? Is there a particular question you want to linger in their minds?
Did the US drop a bomb there or not? I
Mhm.
mean, we've done so many things, all countries, not just the US, but all countries have, that, I mean, we still have secrets from World War One. We still have secrets from John F. Kennedy's assassination. We don't know about the Epstein files. So that's what I want to have the thought linger in people's mind. Gosh, could we have done this? Did we do this? That is what I hope people take away from the book. And one other thing that I hope people take away is the sweet, innocent love between Melee and Joshua, which is also a featured part of the book.
Mr. David, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, my other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well, geography 101 fourth season, and my baby podcast. Law 101 and Mental Health 101, Love Letters in third season, and Movie 101 Review and Music 101 in fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. David, the bomb quest to a classic story or a film, perhaps blend the Da Vinci Code puzzle solving, a Doctor Strange love, political satire, or something entirely different. What would that be and why?
Well, I think because people like mysteries that this book sets forth, and an issue that could be well researched on other levels by the various ways that we get information these days and what's true and what isn't. And so I think that's fascinating. In addition, I hope that the English readers that are in China can take a look at it because I think they will find much favor in the character Melee Ho. And as to your podcasts, my wife and I are sorting through them one at a time. And I'm not going to tell you which one we started with, but
Thank you.
most interesting quest that you have started on in a variety of subjects. And I congratulate you, Daniel.
Thank you, Mr. David Kent. Likewise, and we are hoping for more and more empowering books like this to come. And thank you again for sharing your debut novel to the world. Second, please invite our listeners to support your
Thank
book.
you.
So, where do people can buy your book, Mr. David?
They can buy it at D'Angelo Publishers, locally, Brazos Bookstore. And as soon as Amazon gets another stock of the books, you can order it from there.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. David Can, the Bomb Quest, because if you support him, I was said more and more empowering Bomb Quest to come. So, Mr. David, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me on. I very much enjoyed myself.
Mardikan people, see you soon.